expressed within are not those of 103.1 FM. Okay, and this is where we check in with Dr. Jason Batson of Batson and Associates, supporting health naturally. It has been ages. Do we still say Happy New Year to you? I feel like I'm looking for you once this year.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those times when you just have a million things to do and I just don't have enough hours in the day. And of course, with radio, it's time. So I do apologize for that. Just in the process of getting some things finalized and that type of thing. But we here still working hard, working assiduously. Let me say that PMS program that we did, we had some really, really good feedback. Just actually yesterday I had a client and she actually came because of that program. And then there was somebody that I had before. Because that program we may have done, I think that was the last time that I was here, right? So a lot of feedback where that is concerned. So because of that, I said I would have touched on it today, and let a lot of young ladies and not so young ladies understand that hormonal imbalance is real. Hormonal imbalance is a challenge, and it becomes even more challenging when you do not have the right equipment, for want of a better word, to actually deal with it. You don't have the correct resources. You don't have the correct information. At Batson Associates, one of the things we pride ourselves in is being specialist consultants in integrative medicine, hence the title of the program, which is to support your health naturally, which encompasses a number of things. So as it relates to women with things like polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, infertility, women with PMS, perimenopause, postmenopausal syndrome, those are all indications of hormonal imbalance. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. Of course, let me say a pleasant good morning to Tiff Seb, who has joined us on our Instagram, Miss Kamala Samaru as well. We also have Island Kid, Tall Island Kid has also joined us as well. And let me say a pleasant good morning again to Miss Kamala Samaru. So keep in mind, if you are interested in dealing with any of those issues, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which again is tremendous, a lot of issues that persons have where that is concerned, fertility issues. Some women with polycystic ovaries have a weight challenge because of that excess amount of estrogen. So because of that hormonal disruption, you have a significant issue where these hormones are now out of balance, and as a result of that, or as a consequence, is actually causing you to put on additional weight. So then you have a lot of frustrated individuals who are frustrated where they're doing things to lose weight, they're eating better, they're exercising, but they're not losing the weight. And the reason for that is because of that hormonal disruption that you have. So, feel free to give us a call or visit. Keep in mind, we are live again on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. That number for Shagonas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Davy, of course, is the corner of Ransomwood Trace and the SS Earring Main Road in Davy. That telephone number is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Mr. Shakil John, always doing a great job to ensure that we go live and all our technical and social media platforms are doing what they're supposed to do. Good morning to you. A pleasant good morning to Miss Elizabeth Nandlal. Yes, Miss Nandlal, I am addressing your situation. So we have a question.
Yeah, so just a reminder, listeners, if you have a question for Dr. Batson, you can WhatsApp the studio and you'd have to text us whatever it is that you have in mind on 299-4103. It is International Endometriosis Awareness Month, so can you tell us some more about endometriosis?
Definitely. Let me just say, Ms. Nandlal, I have not forgotten you and everybody else very soon. Okay? That's what I will say for that particular question there, right, Alan? Ms. Anissa Rahman, a pleasant good morning to you. Yeah, well, the thing is, when you're dealing with endometriosis, the thing in all the issues of hormonal disruption that women may experience, endometriosis is one of the most painful. And the reason for that is that you have thickening of that endometrial lining, which lines the uterus. In some instances, you find that lining is much thicker than it's supposed to be. Now, that's going to cause a lot of problems because it means with the thickening of that lining, a number of regular hormonal functions are not able to happen. They're disrupted. And because of that, even oxygen exchange to your colon, your bowels, your that whole gastrointestinal system is compromised in some way. And then you find as a result of that, the gynecological hormonal systems are also going to be disrupted because of that whole endocrine system being out of balance. So now we're actually talking about things like your thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, adrenal glands, and so on. So endometriosis is treatable. It is fixable. I remember there's a client we had who actually had endometriosis, because you could actually get endometriosis in any part of the body or other parts of the body where you have that thickening of important mucosa or lining, which could now interfere with how the body is supposed to usually function. This particular client I had, whenever she got her menstrual cycle, she would actually cough up blood. And the reason for that is that she had endometriosis, and she also had endometriosis in the lungs. So whenever she would have, so visualize that whenever she has her menstrual cycle, she is going to be coughing up a significant amount of blood. And she came to us because the doctors told her that they had to do surgery. That would be the only recommendation. So they wanted to do a total hysterectomy, which is the surgical removal of your uterus and the ovaries. But you could imagine telling a 25-year-old woman that, in my opinion, that is not sensible. And unless it reaches a point where it is life-threatening, then you could do a surgery. But once you're not in that situation of something that is life-threatening, and it is also lifestyle related, then it means that you need to see about yourself properly. Does it require patience? Yes. Does it require discipline? Of course. You have to be, because it means your diet is now restricted. You can't eat every and anything, that is called food. You have to watch your sugar intake, you have to watch your saturated fats, you have to be careful with things like hydrogenated oils. Again, sugar is a major contributor and destabilizer of the human body. So it means now that you have to make the changes, and Batson Associates, of course, is here to help you do that. Keep in mind, again, it is a live program. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Miss Elizabeth Nadler says, Doc, you are so correct about the weight gain. I'm doing everything correct, and I'm dealing with some extra inches. Yeah. And that is, of course, where, the digestive system has to come in. That's where things like Santulan come in. That's where things like our women's formula, our uterine formula, which actually helps to clean the uterus. Cleansing and detoxifying is very important to the body. The problem with most people is that they don't know how to do it correctly. Hydration is also important. How much water are you drinking? That's the next question. So, if you want help in those areas at Batson Associates, we do advocate coming and have our blood analysis, coming and have our magnetic resonance analysis done. Let us evaluate you. And then, of course, with more information, we're able to be even more effective in giving you the results that you're looking for. Question?
Yeah, we have a couple questions. Another question for you. Darkness around the ankles. Do you have products to help with that?
Yeah, when once you have darkness around the ankles, there's a clear cry out from the human body telling you that you have a serious problem associated with poor circulation. In this particular case, you have pulmonary circulation, which is above the heart, and systemic circulation is below your heart. So if you're having darkness in the ankles, you have varicosis, or what is known as varicose veins, you have spider veins, that is a cry for help from the body telling you that your cardiovascular system is becoming compromised. A lot of persons automatically assume that varicose veins is hereditary. We like to use that word as an excuse for, in some cases, our licorishness, eating things that we know we're not supposed to eat. So you'll say you come from a family where they're diabetic and they're hypertensive. So you throw your hand in the air and eat every and anything. That's why you're hypertensive. That's why you're diabetic. It doesn't have anything to do with your family. Now, you may have some genetic predisposition. We understand that. Medicine has proven that. However, the percentage is significantly minuscule, and as a result of that, it means, as we say, genetic load the gun, lifestyle pull the trigger. What are you doing from your lifestyle perspective to ensure that you do not get this hereditary situation that you're talking about? And is it really hereditary, or is it dietary, where women who grow up in households eating whatever they grow up, and you grow up in a house eating that, when you go to your house and you start to cook, you're going to cook something different? You're going to cook the same meal, which is why diseases usually tend to follow ethnicities. In some cases, religious groups. In some cases, persons, in terms of their habitation, where they live. because those are all contributing factors to one's health. What you eat, your location, your practices as regards to even religious belief in terms of what you eat or the practices that you do. Those things, again, could either affect your health positively or negatively. I mean, as it relates to religious persuasion, I tell people, I give them advice based on, you know, anatomy and physiology, based on the science aspect associated with it. You know, your religious persuasion is your religious persuasion, and I would not try to take away from that, but give you advice. And I'll tell you why I said that when I answer this question. Next question.
Okay, this is regarding a sore throat. This person has had a sore throat for quite some time. It's gotten so bad that she's unable to speak. Is there anything that can remedy that situation, because she's tried almost everything else?
Well, if you have a sore throat, or some instance where your tonsils might be slightly inflamed, is an indication that you have some sort of infection there. And remember, we have a lot of pathogens. Remember, we in the height of Sahara dust. So if you're, I don't know if you realize how dusty the place is. And the thing is, this dust has you coughing, because dust, of course, contains pathogens, microbes that tend to not do too much good for you. At Batson Associates, we can correct that situation. But you may require some evaluation based on what tests you may have done, if you're on medication, that kind of thing, so that we could ensure that we do everything that is correct to give you the best advice. What I could say off the top of my head, I know definitely Silver with mineral formula would help you. That's a product we carry at Batson and Associates. Inflammation formula is also very good as well. That is something that will also be able to give you some assistance. Yes?
Another question, is this also related to circulation? Pain in the right ankle, it is swollen and it lances from time to time.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, once you do the practical thing, I don't know if you misstep, if you fell or something like that. So it could be an injury, could be things like bursitis, where you actually have some inflammation in the area. But if this is something that is consistent, you find your feet always, and I always tell persons, swollen feet is never a good thing, eh? Never, never. That is a clear indication that your body is in serious crisis. And it could mean a number of things, because if you have edema, which is the medical term for swollen feet, it can be, one, a liver problem. Two, because retainance of water in the body as well could also be a reason why you have edema, which is the feet swelling. So it could be a serious issue associated with the electrolytes, minerals, so sodium, magnesium, potassium imbalance. It could also be a key cry from the body as it relates to kidney problems. But it could also a lot of times be poor circulation. So you usually find people who have a lot of swelling in the legs. Swelling when you get up in the morning, your foot is down, but by the time you stand and you're walking, it means your body, there is a serious instance of poor circulation, or those things that I mentioned. And all of them could actually become really, really bad. You don't want anyone telling you that you have kidney problems. And we have more and more dialysis patients now. We have more and more persons with kidney problems, simply because a lot of persons who are hypertensive first and diabetic do not know they're hypertensive, do not know they're diabetic. You're not drinking sufficient water. In some cases, you might be a smoker. You might be somebody who have a particular love for alcohol. And as a result of that, you further destabilize the body, and then you end up in problems where you now have to be told that you have a kidney problem. So, you know, again, you need to dot your I's, cross your T's. Feel free to give us a visit. Our telephone number again for the Shogunas office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Davie, of course, is the corner of Ramsonwood Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. That telephone number is 223-7515. Again, 223-7515. Question?
Yeah, we have another question for you. Good morning, Dr. Batson. When testing my blood pressure, I should say that I always have low blood pressure. Can you explain the top figure and the bottom figure?
The top figure and the bottom figure. What they said is the pressure is usually low.
Yes.
Okay, well, again, what you have to understand with blood pressure, so you have two numbers, your systolic, which is your top number, your diastolic is your lower number. Primarily with blood pressure, they normally tell you your pressure is supposed to be 120/80. Now, I disagree with that in the sense that there are some people who will never carry a 120/80 pressure, regardless of their age. And that based on a number of things, primarily the aspect of your neurological system, something known as sympathetic, parasympathetic, because blood pressure is closely linked to emotion. And just yesterday, I was having this conversation with someone. So if you're upset, your blood pressure wouldn't read good. If you are under stress, your blood pressure wouldn't read good. If you're frustrated, if you might have a fight with your spouse, the thing is, emotion significantly affects your blood pressure. So there are some people who would go to a doctor's office, and as you reach by the doctor, your blood pressure high, 200 and something, over 100 and something. But you explain it to the doctor, listen, I am not hypertensive. When I home and I test my pressure reading 130 over 85. So are you hypertensive? Of course not. So those are some of the things that you need to take into consideration. However, if you usually carry a very low blood pressure as it relates to your systolic, your top number, it usually is an indication of some sort of blood disorder. And this is something a lot of people do not know. I have had a lot. I could spot that from the get-go. From the time I look at that blood pressure reading and I see you giving me a 105, there are some women the blood pressure is 99. No. You in serious problem. So it means that that's where the evaluation is concerned. So I suggest you make your appointment. We have the consultants, Dr. Batson, do not do assessments as it regards to tests and blood, and I don't know that. I simply review, of course, and that is to ensure 1 year time, and that's basically how we do what we do. So we have people like Mr. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Rene Bustamante, and a number of other consultants who work with us, well trained, well experienced, to take off all that extra load. So if you're really serious about getting help, as regards to what we have discussed here, or any health issue, feel free to come for a consultation and evaluation. We have a question.
Okay. So this person, female, says she has a burning sensation in her feet, but she also has burning in the bladder, and she's been experiencing this for the longest while.
Yeah, well, that's usually not a good thing. It is a problem that is quite common among not only women but men. Primarily women, because you find women tend to get infections in the urinary. It's much easier for women to have things like urinary tract infections and that type of thing, especially if they don't drink sufficient amounts of water, especially if they practice keeping up the urine. If you are someone who, when you have the desire to defecate, or number two, usually, because you know how people are with that, you don't like to use washroom outside, and then our wonderful country, the public washrooms are really nothing to rave about. So you really waiting to reach in your house. Now the thing is, when you delay bowel movement, that is also dangerous as well. So, you find in instances like that, if you have a burning, some women tend to have UTIs, urinary tract infections. Often they tend to have candida yeast infections, especially after or subsequent treatment of antibiotics, or subsequent treatment with antibiotics, sorry. So those are usually instances where the problem is there. What that means is that infection, which is caused by whatever pathogen it is, whether it's bacterial, viral, fungal, it means that needs to be addressed from the entire immune system aspect. And again, that is something that we do at Batson and Associates. People who have post-nasal drip, so you have a dry cough, every minute you're only coughing, nothing coming up, you're coughing, and that's after the cold. What do you think you have? You have an infection at the back of the throat. They call it post-nasal drip, but the post-nasal drip is as a result of an infection. So it means that infection has not gone. What a lot of persons fail to realize is that infections can last for years in your body. I'm talking about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. And those things, when they stay there, then they can create so much destabilization in the body, so much compromising of the body from a cellular level, that then you end up with the big C diagnosis, which nobody likes, which is the cancer diagnosis. Look at anyone who has been diagnosed with cancer. You always see it is related to a poor immune response. If you have a healthy immune response, you cannot get cancer. Do the research, check it. Okay, so again, those questions, keep in mind we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. Just for the sake of time, I'll give you one telephone number, which will give you access to all. And that number, of course, is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. David is the corner of Ramsey Mooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in David. That telephone number is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. Question? That's it? Okay.
Yeah, we're done for today.
Today, okay, good. Yeah. So, of course, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Again, you have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. I'll stay on the live a little bit, and then, of course, we'll speak. To the listeners of 103.1 FM, always a pleasure to be in your company. Karen, always a pleasure. Long time no see. And enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Be safe. Take care.
We wish you the same. Supporting health and naturally, Dr. Jason Batson, this segment with the best wishes of Batson and Associates. Our time, it is now 11:27. That was a paid program. The views expressed within were...
Yeah, social media. So let me see if I can just answer some of you guys' questions very quick. I know someone asked me something here on... To everyone who joined on our Instagram, the question was on Instagram. Just give me 1 minute because this person asked this question and so many things came in. Oh, what test I used to diagnose endometriosis? That question was is Mrs. Swano. The thing is with endometriosis, you can do hormonal blood tests, but usually it's always good to do abdominal pelvic ultrasounds. In some cases, you might have to do the internal ultrasound depending on how much inflammation is in there. But abdominal pelvic ultrasounds, MRIs, CT scans going to give you, in terms of size and those type of things. So it's very important that you actually now get yourself checked out. And then at Batson Associates, we always do the blood analysis. I tell persons that is a way for us to really see how healthy your blood is. If you have very unhealthy blood, you're going to be unhealthy. There's no problem might be about it. That's like expecting to have a clean glass with dirty water in it, drain water. That don't make no sense. The glass wouldn't be clean, right? So dirty blood, in layman terms, or unhealthy blood that is too thick, blood that is not properly hydrated, blood that doesn't have the proper components. So some people, when they do complete blood, where you do your CBC, your complete blood count, when they look at your white blood cells, things like your monocytes, eosinophils, those type of things, the granular forms of your white blood cells, and your platelets and those type of things. A number of things encompasses healthy blood. So a lot of times people do not have healthy blood, and blood is the river of life. So you have to ensure how well that is, and that is something we do at Batson and Associates. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit Tobago. Very soon we will be dealing with you guys. Keep in mind our WhatsApp number, which is 314-9975. That's 314-9975. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Ms. Shireen Jack. She said, good doc, I need something for circulation. Right now we have in stock circulation regeneration. That's a capsule, very good product as it relates to dealing with poor circulation. Miss Marlene Nabi, a pleasant good morning to you. Miss Brenda Turpin, good morning, Dr. Batson. I'm still waiting for the information for the names of the product I should purchase for osteoporosis. Thank you. Okay, Miss Turpin, where did you send that for me? All right, do me a favor, Miss Turpin. Just to make sure that I get the attention of that and I can deal with it quickly for you, message us on 314-9975 now, please. 314-9975, or just call the office and let front desk know, and I will make sure and have it organized for you, right? Miss Kishona Cyrus, doc, you were to speak about the type of cayenne pepper capsule to take. Hey, can you remind me of that? Okay, so because of the time, and I wouldn't be able to go into that, but God's willing, I will do it on our live on Sunday, please God. Ms. Desiree Villafana, she says, good morning, Dr. Batson. How to deal with neuropathic pain and swelling in the feet. And do you have Santulan? Santulan, no, we do not have as yet. That is something that we're actually waiting on. So as soon as we have that, we'll let you know. Normal thing, call the office, give them your name, and when we get it, we call you. Okay, Miss Curleen Fleury, blessed day to you, Dr. Batson. Same to you, my dear. Miss Shireen Kemchan, good morning to you, or good day. Yeah, what you could actually do is actually pre-order, and that's what we try to tell persons to do. So, you know, the office could always let you know, and we will fully have those for you. What do you recommend for polycystic ovarian syndrome? Women's formula, inflammation formula, silver mineral formula. Get your abdominal pelvic ultrasound done, come to us, have your blood and your scan done, and we'll sort you out. All right? Always keep in mind, the more information we have on you, the more information that we have gathered via different tests, different aspects of diagnosis, the better we are able to help you. The quicker you get results, the faster you can go along your good way and be thankful. All right, Ms. Donna, this is Dr. Batson. Can the phone be put somewhere that when you check it, your hand blocks the entire view of the program? Also, I had to turn off the live info of what you were saying since so many words are misspelled. And when you call out the telephone numbers, can they use the numbers instead of writing out the numbers? Okay, well, I think that would be something. I'll have to speak to Mr. Shakil about that. I think that has something to do. We'll discuss it afterwards and correct it. That would most likely have something to do with one of the platforms that we're using, where it actually, when you speak, it picks up the words. Or well, in some cases, I find those things. So we'll address that. Miss Paulette Nord, what our pain in the knees? You're looking at inflammation formula, silver with mineral formula. Okay. Oh, and you're from Holland. Okay, well, what we're going to do is when we finish all our stuff in terms of availability of our products on different platforms, then you'll actually be able to order it online quite easily. Okay, that is something that we have finishing in a little bit. Miss Kathleen Ishmael, yes, always a beautiful blessing. Yes, so Miss Nord, you could actually give us a visit, give us a call. Miss Pat Ashton from South Florida, a pleasant good morning to you guys. So of course that brings our program to an end. Keep in mind again those telephone numbers: 222, so 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Dele is the corner of Ramsamund Straits and the SS Earring Main Road in Dele. That number for Dele is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220-8113. 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Okay, to all you lovely persons who are on the live, keep in mind, we have our program with DJ Mamu. You could get that program on djmamuradio.tt.com, and that's today at 2:15. So you can always tune in or give somebody the information. Again, that is djmamuradio.tt.com. Again, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Keep in mind our program that we'll be having on Sunday. That's a live question and answer. And that is taking place this Sunday at 7:30 to 9 p.m. Okay, so make sure and join us for that. Where, of course, we normally handle a number of questions coming through there. Okay, guys? So take care. God bless. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe.